Hello and welcome to today's lecture. Today basically I'm going to discuss about home science as an optional for the Odisha Public Service Commission Civil Services exam. Now home science, the awareness about this subject is a little bit low. Why? Because it is not a subject in the UPSC exams. Okay, for IAS and all it is not a optional subject. But for civil services in Odisha, the OPSC civil services, this is one of the best optionals that a candidate can have. So in this lecture, I am going to give you a detailed analysis of home science. First, we will start with the syllabus of home science. Then we'll go with the one previous year question, that is 2016. After that, I'll tell you what are the pros and cons of taking this optional. This optional is especially handy for those people who are in want of time, who have paucity of time. They don't have a lot of time to spare on longer optionals. So one of the best strategies for those who are taking both UPSC and OPSC is to have a common optional. First optional that should be common for UPSC and OPSC, and for OPSC the second optional should be home science. We'll also discuss the marks, what is the range of marks that students have got, that also we'll be discussing, taking into consideration the 2016 marks of home science. Okay, so let us start with the discussion of syllabus of home science. Right? So today's topic is basically home science as an optional in Odisha Public Service exam. So if you go through the syllabus is very generic. Actually home science, as we know, it is not a pure science, it is an applied science, it is a multidimensional, multidisciplinary subject. Okay, that means many subjects are there, many disciplines are there which have contributed to home science. So first I'll go in details into the syllabus of home science, and then we will have a general discussion on how to maximize your marks in home science. So let us first come to the syllabus. This is paper 1, section A. Section A is food and nutrition. Now this is a basic thing which most of the civil service aspirants have to study in general science. In life science you have to study this part. Now going into the details of syllabus, okay, section A, food and nutrition, it comprises of 6 subsections. The first one is study of foods. So importance, composition, nutritive value of cereals, pulses, vegetables and fruits, fleshy foods which include meat, fish, poultry, egg, milk and milk products, fats and oils. So this is the study of foods. Okay. Second subsection is study of nutrients, classification of nutrients, sources, functions, requirements and deficiencies of protein, fats, carbohydrates, minerals, vitamins, waters and roughages. Okay, this is study of nutrients. Next, utilization of food, digestion, absorption, metabolism of proteins, fat and carbohydrates, basal metabolism and factors affecting basal metabolism, methods of measurements of basal metabolic rate, that is the BMR, total energy requirement and factors affecting the requirement. Okay. Fourth subunit is therapeutic nutrition, that is therapeutic adoption of normal diets, factors to be considered in planning therapeutic diets, dietary management in cases of diabetes, nephritis, peptic ulcer, hypertension, osteoporosis, liver cirrhosis and hepatitis. So some of the diseases, in that case what should be the food that a person has to take if he is suffering from these diseases. Next, number 5, fifth subunit is about food spoilage. causes of food spoilage and food contamination, food adulteration and food poisoning, measuring quality of food, control of food quality. Okay, the BIS, FPO, AgMark, ISI, and of course now the FSSI. Last subsection of section A is malnutrition. Causes and effect of malnutrition on vulnerable sections of the society. Effect of malnutrition on national development. Measures to combat malnutrition. Nutritional policy and programs. And some of the organizations like role of the ICDS, World Health Organization, UNICEF, etc. in combating malnutrition. So, generally speaking, when we come to section A, paper 1 section A, that is food and nutrition, so 70 to 80% of these things you have already studied. Okay, in 10th level, they are very generic things, and you also have to study food and nutrition for your life sciences part, the static general science part. Okay, so this is the first part, and most of the aspirants would be knowing around 60 to 70% already. Now coming to paper 1 section B, human development and family studies. So the first sub-module is basis of human development, how life begins, role of genetic and environmental factors affecting human development, stages and factors affecting prenatal growth and development, development of children from 0 to 5 years, development of children, okay, that includes speech development, okay, social development, personality development, etc. Exceptional children, those who are gifted children, and also those who are children with special needs. Adolescent development and family life cycle. So again, here there is some part of psychology which comes in. Okay. Also stages of development, how the child grows into adult and all. These parts will be there. So this is also by common sense, lot of things can be written, but it's a very short part. Okay, one of the best things of home science is that there have been successful cases of students who have completed the home science syllabus within the gap that is given in the exam. Right, home science generally comes at the last part of your optional timetable in OPSC. Now coming to paper 2. Paper 2 section A, family resource management. Management of family resources, money management, housing and interior decoration. Next is textiles and clothing. Textile fibers, the journey from fiber to fabric, and then wardrobe planning. So, whatever, for example, in which particular seasons, what all clothes are to be worn, what is the rationality behind that, selection of color, selection of type of material. Okay, so these are all again things of common sense, plus certain technicalities are there which we can add to get better marks. Coming to the last part, that is paper 2 section B. This is about home science extension education. Okay, so this is a part from community development and social sciences. Extension education and development, program planning, communication in extension, community development, teaching and learning in extension. So more or less this is the syllabus of home science. Syllabus is quite short, and if you give 4 hours per day, so you can finish up the syllabus in very short time. Okay, much shorter than some of the more popular subjects in OPSC mains list. Okay, so this is basic analysis of the syllabus of home science. Now coming to the analysis of question papers. So I have taken 2016 question papers as reference. As you know, most of the questions come directly. Of course, if you go through the questions of 2017, the questions were more, roundabout, right? The questions were basically on static things, but the manner in which the question was asked, that was a little bit roundabout. Okay, so that also you have to develop the skills to understand what is being asked. If it is a roundabout question, what is the central thing that the question asks. So let us go to 2016's question. This is paper 1. Okay, so these are 60 mark questions, except for question 1 and 5, which are in bits. So question 1, this is a compulsory question. Answer any 3 out of the 4 given. Fruits and vegetables are protective foods. Explain its importance in health, how they should be handled to conserve those health factors. So, generally also if you have studied biology, you can answer this without any specific preparation. This is a 20-mark question. So, according to our calculation, 20-mark question, okay, you have to give 12 minutes. If you give more than 12 minutes, then you will not be able to complete the paper. Okay, I'll give you a, thorough insight into what should be the time for these mains questions. Okay, what time should you give for these main questions so that you can complete the paper. If you are completing the entire 2000 marks in the mains papers, your chances of getting selected increase a lot. So generally, even with toppers and all, you'll hear that we have left 100 marks, we have left 200 marks out of 2000. If you ensure that you have written everything, that increases your chance of getting an interview call. Now question 2, what is an omega fatty acid? Give its source and its vital role in health. Okay, 20 marks. Question bit C, what is the present nutrition situation in India? How is it managed by the government? This is also 20 marks. What are the causes of hypertension? Give its complication, dietary counsel, and give a day's diet plan for a day for a person suffering from high blood pressure. Okay, so 4 questions are given. Out of those 4 questions, you have to answer any 3. Okay, this is also important. Sometimes what it happens is those who have not practiced properly, they will do all the 4 questions. You will not get the extra marks. Okay, so out of these 4, you choose any 3, 20 marks for each bit. So 60 marks. Next comes question 2. What are the major causes for food contamination and toxicity? Okay, how it is being controlled in our country. So, malnutrition, food poisoning, etc. Those things you have to write. 60 marks. So 60 marks question you have to give 36 minutes. Okay. Next, recently vitamin D has been implicated in preventing non-communicable diseases. Explain its importance in health. So about vitamin D, 60 marks. Regular or excessive intake of simple carbohydrates, fried foods and salted preserved foods can be harmful to health. Explain in detail why. So very, very generic questions. This is section A. Now coming to section B. Again, question 5 is compulsory. You have to do that. Answer any 3 parts of the following. Explain how nature and nurture both influence the development of an individual. So environment, okay, and also upbringing. Nature and nurture. 20 marks. Describe the stages of intellectual development from infancy and the role of stimulation. C. What are the causes of cerebral palsy? How do such individuals perform? Write on the support and training they require. So this is for children with special needs. Write on emotional problems in adolescence and what society can do to help them. Out of these 4, you have to write any 3. Family ties are weaker in contemporary families. Explain the factors affecting family bondage and how it can be strengthened in current perspective. Again, this is something related to what is happening in the society. So a lot of things you can write. Personality development begins at home. Why? How can family help in shaping of a child's personality till he reaches adulthood? This is also 60 marks. What is special education? Explain the recent development in training and support rendered to the sensory impaired to make them self-reliant. So examples you can give of some government schemes also. So this is paper 1. As I was telling you, what are the time limits that you have to adhere to? See, in OPSC, it is like 300 marks, okay, paper, and you have 180 minutes. So if you break down, so a 60 mark question requires 36 minutes maximum. If you are writing beyond that, then you will not be able to complete your paper. Okay. Then you also get 30 marks question. So that would be 18 minutes. If we get 20 marks question, which we are getting in question 1 and 5, so that would be around 12 minutes. Okay. Generally, in very few cases, you will get 10 and 5 mark question, but I would recommend that if you have the option of a 60 mark question and other questions in bits, like 3 questions for 20 marks each bit, or 4 questions for 15 mark each bit, or 12 bits for 5 marks each, avoid those kind of questions. You go for that question which has 60 marks. Okay, because there will be a direct connect in that question. You can do better, you can draw figures and all, and you can get better marks. Okay, so remember this part for any optional in OPSC. 60 markers most preferred, that is 36 minutes you have to give. Then 30 markers, 18 minutes, not preferred. If you have a choice, don't go for the 30 markers, go for the 60 markers. And 20 markers, question 1 and 5, it will be compulsory. 3 bits you have to do, 3 into 20. Okay, so there you have to give 12 minutes, and it should include one diagram that I will discuss now. Let us finish paper 2 questions of 2016, then we will go to how to write the home science answers, or for that matter answers of any optional in OPSC, so that you get the maximum marks. Now coming to home science paper 2. Answer any 3 of the following. Elaborate on the demands for time through the different stages and substages of family life cycle. Plan a model budget for a family consisting of parents, 2 school-going children and 2 grandparents with a monthly income of 40,000 rupees. So you have to make a budget. Okay? Taking all things into consideration, you have to make a budget. Next, bit C. What is the significance of human energy management related with self-management and work efficiency? 20 marks. Design a house plan for a family of middle income group. Specify the space requirement and space allocation for the major activities of the family. Next, explain in detail how a bedroom and living room could be furnished to meet the basic requirements, following all the concepts related to furnishing rooms. So where the light should be, where the curtain should be, what should be the color of the walls, what should be the pattern of the curtains, all these things have to be written here. Then question 3 here, it is 12 into 5. Okay, so it's basically 12 marks and 5 bits are given, so better to avoid such questions, but let us see. Differentiate direct and resist printing methods. Discuss yarns with reference to direction, twist and seize or fitness. What is meant by fabric finishes? State its uses, classification and factors affecting it. Comment on the natural and synthetic dyes. Discuss the basics of creating a flexible wardrobe for a middle-aged woman. Question 4. Compare and contrast the property of wool, cotton and polyester. 30 marks. Bit B. Trace the long journey of silk sari has completed starting from the silkworm stage. So entire how the sari is made, that you have to write. Section B. Answer any 3. How is need for an attitudinal change identified, addressed, evaluated and updated? Bring out the positive and negative influence of gender issues in community development. What are the various strategies adopted by NGOs in bringing about community development? Write short notes on the following. Highlight the role of extension worker in a society. 5 marks. State the need for home science extension education. 5 marks. When is evaluation of a program needed? Justify your choice. 5 marks. What is the relevance of audiovisual aids in dissemination of information? 5 marks. Explain the meaning, principle and scope of program planning. This is a long question, 60 marks. Always choose these type of questions. It was quite predictable. You would be well prepared. You can give lot of diagrams. Trace the transformation in communication techniques in the past 50 years. 60 marks. Discuss the evolution, function and impact of Panchayati Raj on community development. 60 marks. This is a very general question, not necessarily from the domain of home science. So as you see, the questions are more or less very generic and syllabus is also quite short. You can finish it within very short period of time. So this, now let us discuss the mark pattern of home science and what you should do to score at least 220 plus out of 300 in each of the papers of home science. So, in the 60 mark question, okay, or for that matter in any question in any optional, there are three important properties you have to remember. If there is a fine balance of these three properties, then you are going to get good marks. The first is content. Okay, whatever the question has asked, you have to write that. There is no need of, beating around the bush and writing things which are not relevant, because you will not have time for that. So content should be relevant, means write what is asked, not what you know. You may be knowing a lot of things, but you have to write what is being asked. Okay, so that is number one. Content has to be proper, it has to be relevant to the question, and there should not be any redundancy. Same thing repeating more than one time, or writing irrelevant things. Okay, avoid those. So content. Second is the representation. What do you mean by representation? It's basically you have to write, okay, if you write it like, a prose, paragraph wise, you will get lesser marks. You have to write it giving headings, subheadings, examples, illustration, diagrams, okay, just like it is given in the textbook, right? So, headings, use of subheadings, and examples, right? So that is presentation. Third, figures and diagrams. What do you mean by figures and diagrams? Figures and diagrams generally would mean, suppose you have been asked what is the reason, okay, for a particular thing, 60-mark question. So what you have written, there are 4 different types of reasons: cultural reason, okay, political reason, whatever. So the same thing you can present it, okay, in a neat diagram. It may be a tree-tribe hierarchical diagram or a circular type of diagram. I'll give you some examples. I'll give you some examples. So 60-mark question should have at least 2 diagrams. If it's more than 2, it is good. Okay. 30-mark question or anything like a 20-mark question should have at least 1 diagram. So diagram is must for optionals, even for GS also. If you have the time, you should go for it. Okay. Then examples or illustrations. Now out of these examples, it would be best if we can give 1 example from India and 1 example from Odisha. That is why being abreast of the local current affairs is also very important, okay, for Odisha's current affairs. Understood? So I was talking about diagrams. So what I actually mean by diagram, let me give you an example. So let us say a question has been asked to give reasons for something, a 60 marker, and you have written that there are 4 reasons. Okay. So let's say, what are the reasons, okay, for malnutrition in India, right? Let's say, for example. So, reasons for malnutrition, right? So, for example, we are going to divide it into 3 parts. Okay, political reasons, demographic reasons, and economic reasons. Okay, now suppose there are 3 political reasons. So, whatever, and there are 4 demographic reasons. So here I am writing what are the reasons, and there are 2 economic reasons. Then, now I have to annotate it, means I have to label it. Any figure that you have to do, you have to annotate it or label it. So figure, okay, reasons for malnutrition in India or Odisha, right? Now suppose there are 12 or 15 reasons. So if I, go on like this, it would be very clumsy. So I have to try something else, another type of representation, which would be generally circular. Okay. Reasons for malnutrition in Odisha or India. This is reason 1, reason 2, reason 3, reason 4. Here I can accommodate 10 to 15. Okay. So figure Annotation is must, right? So when you're writing, give headings, subheadings, examples of government schemes, etc. Okay, that would maximize your marks. If you just write it, like a story, you can't expect to get like 45, 50, 52 out of 60. Okay, difficult. Now coming to the most important question, who should take home science as optional? Many students who ask me, I'm from arts background, can I take home science? Of course you can. See, this civil services exam are basically written exams. Okay, your knowledge may be very good, but if you are unable to represent in the main, then chances of getting selected in this exam is very less. Okay, so there are two kinds of students who give the exam and who become successful. First type is that who have very good writing skills. Now if your writing skills are really good, that means you don't make mistakes in grammar and spellings and all. Okay, and you can write from your own words, right? That means in that case your more or less your writing skills are okay. You can choose any optional. Public administration, sociology, philosophy. These kind of optionals require strong writing skills. Because in these optionals you have to give your opinion in many questions. It's not just just copy paste from the book. Direct question, there are a lot of dynamic questions. Okay. On the other hand, there are some students who are very hardworking, but they're not their writing skills are not the best. So you can take optionals which are scientific in nature, where writing skill really doesn't matter. Geography, okay, home science, or for that matter any science subject. Okay, so here what happens, basically you just have to give the points and the structure of the answer has to be correct. If that is ensured, then you're not going to face a lot of problems in getting good marks. Okay, so home science can be opted by anyone, mainly if you are preparing both for UPSC and OPSC. So home science will help you a lot, because UPSC and OPSC first optional you can keep common optional. So you study that in depth. Second optional you are keeping home science, very short optional, and lot of gap will be there. Suppose someone takes geography and home science, very common optional, very successful optional in 2016 exam. Okay, because in 2016 exam, as you know, in top 10, 9 students had geography in OPSC. Okay, so geography and home science is a very good combination, because in both the papers you can easily score 220 plus in each of the papers. Okay, so those who have paucity of time, they are working and they cannot manage two large optionals, or those who are preparing both for civil services, UPSC and OPSC, so they don't want to waste time on a large optional. Okay, so these people can take up home science. Okay, now coming to the reference book for home science, basically 2 books would suffice. The first book is for paper 1, section A, section B, and paper 2, section A. That is textbook of home science by Premlata Malik, and it is published by Kalyani Publication. So it's a quite popular book for home science that you can buy. Second book that you require for paper 2, section B, extension education, that is Extension and Communication by G.L. Rai, that is also Kalyani Publications. Okay, you can also get other material from NIOS, Standard 11, 12th Home Science. Okay, from Tamil Nadu State Board, Standard 11, 12th Home Science. Okay, just to add other points. Also in the market nowadays, many coaching centers, they are giving their own notes. Okay, related to home science, that also you can get, because in the textbooks obviously a lot of things would be given. Some of them, or most of them, or a large part of them may not be according to your prescribed syllabus. So home science, you just go through the syllabus properly, just study according to the syllabus. Okay, the return on investment is very high in home science. Okay, well, in a sense that you invest less time, but you will get very high marks if you follow the structure of the answer. You give proper diagrams. Okay, then you can get very good marks in home science. And there will be gap. For example, popular subjects like history, geography, public administration, political science and IR, sociology, philosophy, all these subjects, they have quite good gap with home science. So that is another advantage you can have in OPSC. Okay, and if you have any doubts regarding home science, or for that matter regarding preparation for UPSC or OPSC, you can contact me directly on my WhatsApp number, that is 9437002210. 9437002210. Generally, I may not be able to pick up calls, so you can WhatsApp me. That would be the best way. Within 24 hours, I'll be replying to you. Even if you have written some answers and you want to get it evaluated, even if you are not a student of Aarohan, we do that. That is, that is a duty in a sense. So you can send it, cam scan it and send it, and I'll tell you what are other things where you have to correct your answers. So best wishes for your exam preparation. Thank you.